Right here, coming back with another Kaspa video. Caspians, welcome. Now let's get into it. Basically, kind of staying in the same price range it has been the few days. Kaspa didn't see the same pump that Bitcoin or Cardano or some of those other guys saw, and it's still hanging in there though. And so I think I wanted to talk a little bit today about patience and also just about how things can take time. So Musk uh, was talking about a little bit, but he can't say too much. But saying like the $25,000 Tesla car development is far along. So they had a Gigafactory in Mexico, the Giga Mexico factory, and that's not even going to be pumping anything out probably until 2026. So it just shows how long it takes sometimes for things to come to fruition. Apparently, it's got its permits, and I think what Tesla's doing is amazing, and it takes time, just like it took a long time for the Cybertruck to come out. They're working on robots. So how does this tie back into Caspa? It just takes time for things to develop. Get these listings on Binance and Coinbase, those top tier one exchanges, and that's what it'd take to get to $2.73, the title I had. And so when the proof of work, so one question I had, and maybe someone else here knows, but so right here it's saying that Bitcoin's 39 million, and roughly there's a Bitcoin block every 10 minutes. So I got that at 144 blocks because then there's 6 blocks an hour roughly. Sometimes there's a bunch in a 10-minute span, and then sometimes it goes 40 minutes without. That's 6 times 24, which I have is 144. 144 blocks. So 144 blocks times the price of Bitcoin. Let's just say it's 44,000, even though it dipped below it a little bit. That's $63 million. So that's 44,000, 144 block, or no, that's 60. Okay, that's 6.3 million, but then so it's actually 144. The only reason I'm doing this is trying to calculate. So 144 blocks, but when you actually go to the mempool, you can see that this one right here had $358,000 when you had the Bitcoin. Yeah, I don't know why I was doing the price of Bitcoin. The reward 6.25 Bitcoin plus the fees. So this block had 358,000, but then this block had fewer fees, so 325,000. So somewhere between 325, 350. So let's just say 330,000. So times 330,000. I guess that's $47 million. I mean, I guess these guys knows what they're doing. I mean, the F2 is a mining pool. It just feels like that possibly the Bitcoin, it just seems like the potential proof of work money mined with Bitcoin could be a little higher. So it made me just wonder: is there any chance that the money that Kaspa is generating in 24-hour time span is heavier? Because they might just be doing the block reward. So there's the fees that the fees that people are paying. So those fees get added on top of the 6.25 Bitcoin. So let me know what you think. I mean, these guys should be a lot more accurate than anything that I can do with napkin math, and it does fluctuate, but it does seem like about the cheapest you're coming in right now is 312,000, and there's a lot of Bitcoin blocks over 300,000. I guess there's a lot in that range, but then there's also some that I saw. This one is 254, so this was Sats. This is $382,000, so seems like 315, 330, 330,000. So I just wondered if how accurate the Caspa profitability is. But the petahashes, 94 petahashes. And so that's why you just got to keep waiting. I mean, pretty soon this is going to bust through 100, and the addresses keep climbing up. And you can see that, a few whales this last week, a few whales were down to 225, and 6 less whales this last month. And then, 15 more sharks, 21 more dolphins, but 2 dolphins less this hour. They've went down because there's no sharks. But you can see 274,000 addresses. So the addresses keep climbing pretty good. And just a matter of time when I think you look down here and see Binance or Coinbase, the big dogs in there. Decentralized proof of work seems like it's just a matter of time. So I was just looking at the mining. Feels like that the Bitcoin mining profitability could be a little bit higher. So maybe the Kaspa one is too. If not, it's still, however, whatever metrics or best calculations they have, which maybe they're exactly accurate. I don't know. Just felt like that the Bitcoin could be higher. It's still pretty good. You got, there's a war going right now between banking and cryptocurrency and decentralized finance, basically. It really, you got, the JP Morgan CEO, Chase, Jamie Dimon obviously is always talking about Bitcoin, about how right here he's talking about if I was a government, I'd close it down, which you can't. And then some people are posting that from October 16th, 2013. So this is actually not brand new today, just people are posting it today. If we think you're making a payment related to crypto assets, we'll decline it. If you'd still like, and this might be the UK, I'm not sure if this is in the United States. It might be just in the UK. But that shows how ridiculous it is, because basically a bank is only keeping part of your money in the bank and they're loaning your money out. And if the banks have a problem, they get bailed out by the government, which is actually getting bailed out by the taxpayers. So you're taking all the risk. You put your money in there, you're not getting any really return on it. And they're using your money to try to make more money. If something goes wrong, you end up having to pay for it, and they won't even let you use your money as sees fit. The reality is that most illicit activity and people that are avoiding taxes is via cash. Say you have a local business and you take cash. Say you're a food stand and you take cash only. And I know there's one right by where I went to college, Yang's, or I think that's what it was called. Had some Asian food and rice and meat, and it was really good food, and they were cash only. So that they probably didn't declare half of what they really made. I don't blame them. And also, drug dealers and stuff are getting a lot of cash and they're not reporting that money. So, we all know that there's not, a lot of what they're saying is not accurate. And so there's just a war going on right here. And Kaspa fits into it too, because it's, once you start getting up into the top cryptocurrencies and you're in the top 30, you start getting bullseye in your back from some regulators or bankers, or if something gets too powerful, too decentralized, people are against it. And the same time, another point I'm just trying to make is, look what Tesla's doing. This Gigafactory in Mexico eventually will be built, and you can look at some of the Gigafactories Tesla have. They're massive, and this is supposedly their next gen car they'll be pumping out there, and that won't even be until 2026. So right now you could be sitting in 2023 going, okay, when's that factory going to be ready and when's it going? Well, it's probably not really going to maybe even be pumping out to late 2026, maybe even 2027. And that's just the way things go. And you can see that in crypto. It takes some projects time to develop, to get the grow, the following, all that. And so this is the balance of patience and realizing there's a war raging on. At the same time, you have all this. You have Jason Lowry, the guy in the Space Force, that had a letter to the Defensive Initiation Board. He's urging the Pentagon, Pentagon cybersecurity weapon, U.S. Space Force major opens debate. And so he's pushing that. And then you also have Qatar, which it's rumors of maybe trying to put 500 billion into Bitcoin. And so that's just rumors. And obviously right now you can't even buy $500 billion of Bitcoin. And that would push the price up a lot, and they'd have to buy a lot of Bitcoin at a higher price. But, where does Kaspa tie in all of this? Well, if it's one of the top cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin's going bananas, I don't know if it's possible what Kaspa does in the future. I do think that $1 is possible maybe next year, and $2 to $5 the 2025. But, crazy things happen. But the more money that comes into Bitcoin and the overall crypto space is net positive for Kaspa, because you might get some more people that are making some profits on Bitcoin that cycles through. For the most part, you can see, everything is kind of its own rate. Like Cardano's kind of doing its own little thing right now, where you have, Bitcoin kind of say, hanging around that $44,000 range, a little under. Cardano is actually up 2.5 to almost 3%, 19%. So it wasn't performing as good as Bitcoin. And then it started doing a lot better today because you can see Bitcoin is down 0.5%. And that can get wiped away really quick. You can see Toncoin is down 7%. And then there's Kaspa, it's hanging there strong. So, really Kaspa's, chopping sideways. It did retest all-time highs, but it's just a matter of time, in my opinion. And this is, that when you have the hash rate constantly growing and the miners making money and new people coming into the ecosystem, it's just a matter of time that one of those tier one exchanges or the low level tier one exchanges or the top 2 tier exchanges come. And at that time, it's net positive what Bitcoin's going. I know sometimes I talk about Bitcoin because I'm bullish on Bitcoin too and Kaspa. And, really Bitcoin leads the way. So Bitcoin going bananas really helps the chances of Kaspa going bananas, even though Kaspa's already done that in the bear market. If we're coming into a bull market and things are getting crazy, there's just going to be a lot of money flooding in. The money spigots of the world can get turned on into crypto. So just got to be patient. Who knows if this is really real? I know Max Kaiser was reporting about Qatar. Wouldn't be surprised. I do think that more institutions are going to be putting Bitcoin and crypto, more institutions, more governments. I mean, I just think it's coming. I mean, who knows if Argentina is going to, but I think it's just a matter of time. And, there's going to be a battle in between the big banking system and crypto and Bitcoin. And you just got to ride the wave out. Be patient for things to develop. And Rome wasn't built in a day. And there's going to be some price fluctuations. So don't get too happy when it goes up and don't get too down when it's going sideways or underperforming what you think. And just try to make your best decisions. So that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching and have a good day.